of other questions there, but since you brought up how important the basic security hygiene is and how often that's the layer that causes the breach,
It
just
is.
plain old scanning and patching, right? I mean,
Hmm.
it's just basic hygiene, and it gets ignored, or just falls through the cracks. But I want to talk a little bit from a vendor perspective. That kind of falls into the lump of vulnerability management. And what we see in our data here is some of the leading players in that space are, Tenable, Rapid7,
Hmm.
Qualys. They all seem to have great offerings, but we've been surprisingly seeing spend decelerate kind of across the board for all three of them. If you just bear with me while I pull this up, I would be curious, first of all, do you see increased spending flowing to patching and vulnerability management, or do you think that's something that is not a priority these days? And if so, do you have any real opinions over which of the vendors might be doing a better job than others?
So I'm kind of biased.
Mm-hmm.
I know we use Rapid7 as one of our scanning solutions, Qualys as well. And I can honestly say that I haven't seen it decreased for our industry, but and I would hope not. Um, I think we've, as an industry, we especially with Microsoft, right? They Patch Tuesday comes out, and people are made aware. I'm just looking at the Qualys. Yeah, it's definitely decreased,
Yeah, I'm
and
going to make it a little bit easier for us to review. That's why I was just checking the citations quickly, because
yeah,
as you know, there's a whole lot of security vendors in the space. So yeah,
yeah.
there's been a bit of a drop year over year, and this is basically looking at our overall spending intentions within our survey. This particular one had 1,500 of you and your peers, so it's a large sample. But it's not, again, not just Qualys. We're seeing it
Hmm.
here as well. And if I can find Tenable, actually Tenable is increasing. So at least based on our data and our peers, it seems as if Tenable's increasing spend while the others are actually decreasing a
Decreasing.
little bit. But let's hear your viewpoint as a Rapid7 customer, someone, an end user. Let's hear a little bit of feedback. I've heard
Sure.
great things from them. I also know that they have an expanding portfolio. It's not just simple patching and scanning anymore.
Sure. And I think my personal opinion there is I know we're getting valued information from vendors now. Hey, we noticed this patch, or
Hmm.
this has come out. That could be a reason for the decrease, and it also could be that the sign of the times is that some of these older um, are not keeping their trends, which is possible. But I as someone who's used Rapid7 for many years, I'm very comfortable with it. We feed it into our SIM
Hmm.
solution, so that helps manage the known vulnerabilities in the system. Um, but from a standpoint of what for us, there's so much of the supply chain. Um, that's a critical piece as well. And if as you're aware of the recent breach, the supply chain was the main culprit. They breached the supply chain, and then down the rabbit hole everything else went. So
Hmm.
that to me is a scary, um, because you trust your clients, you trust your vendors to provide you with adequate information, and you trust that they're doing the correct thing as well. And if they're not, then it can really hurt your business. And in this case, I think it hurt the world.
Yeah, I had one of your peers mention about that SolarWinds was supposed to be the monitor, and now we have to monitor the monitors. So, it was a little bit frustrating there. And another aspect to that was, that aspect also was a little bit on-prem, and I think that there's been a little bit more acceptance of cloud security. Maybe that breach wouldn't have been as bad, or would have been sequestered earlier if it didn't have on-prem aspects to it. But real quickly, just getting into Rapid7, if you don't mind a little bit more. we're wondering as well if the vendor is just a good partner with you. Are they willing to work with you, or is the price palatable? Just from an overall functionality and kind of cost of ownership, your general thoughts on them.
So I would definitely say that if the vendor is always willing to work with us, and the fact that not that all of the others don't, but it feeds into, we use ServiceNow, so it feeds into our ticketing solution as well, and that takes a big burden off when you see the vulnerabilities right there in the system, and you can, then you're just sending them over to the other team. Hey, this came up, you need to address it quickly. So that automation feature is so important for us, especially with the workforce being the way it is now with the COVID solution. So I think that's the main picture, is just the automation piece of it for us. Not sure if other tools are in the pipeline, but for us, Rapid7 has been a valuable tool.
Yeah.